All right, so Christian's just out of the room. We're just about to start recording. We've actually recorded some clips with a special guest that Christian, he doesn't know who's recorded them, so it's a big surprise to him. So yeah, I'm sure you'll pick up where they are. But yeah, just keep in mind, Christian's never heard these before. Okay, should be good.
Haven't gone to acting school, haven't done any performance. Can the listeners tell? Probably.
I'm getting sweaty palms now.
That's why when I go to weddings, I go, just the toast, please.
Dietary requirement.
Hello, and welcome to Patchwork.
A podcast where three old friends sit around, tell stories, and sew a new patch into their quilt of friendship. There's a full ball of thread, but we don't quite know yet what we're sewing. So...
Welcome to Patchwork. I'm Craig Willis, and with me is Dion.
Welcome to Patchwork.
Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork.
So guys, before we get started...
Just going to gloss over that, are we?
Christian's crying.
Are you actually saying that that's Craig
That
Willis?
is actually Craig Willis.
That is Craig Willis.
He is the voice of football in Australia. He's the voice of tennis, the Australian Open. He's the voice of everything, and that is his voice.
And he's also a big fan of the show, apparently.
Yeah, loves it. In case you may not know, we're doing a retrospective episode of Welcome to Patchwork, and we are going to be looking back at our monstrous first season of content. We're just going to be looking back and reflecting on some things we've discussed and revisiting some topics with you guys. So before we get started, I just wanted to bring something up that's been happening on a bi-weekly basis. So we record in Christian's mum's house, and usually we come from work, we're all very excited to record for you patchworkers, and Josh usually is quite hungry coming from work. And invariably, Josh will ask the question, not, hey, have you guys eaten? But rather, Christian, does your mum have any food for me to eat?
Yeah.
And so I have a problem with that because the other night you were over at my place and you asked me that same question and I had food, but I didn't make it for you. I made it for me and my week. So there's a presumption.
That's implicit in the question.
No, but there's a presumption that because there's food that you can eat it.
No, not at all.
Yes, there is.
No, it's because Christian is from a big, fat Italian family. And they want to give food to the guests.
Unbelievable.
Which part's unbelievable?
See, this is what's been happening through the ages. Anglo-Saxons have been saying, these wogs want to feed us. They want to. They love it.
Yeah, that's actually some truth to that, isn't there? You're not just joking about that.
100% truth.
Yeah.
Dion, what do I do when I come over to your house?
You
if I
cook
wanna
and
eat?
clean and
Thank
you do
so much.
everything. Yeah.
I bring the food.
Yeah.
I'm aware of this because you said stuff like, oh, I think my mum's got some leftover stuff of this. You're welcome to have it.
Okay, so I'll also
That's what I'm
educate you
thinking.
about something else about ethnic people. Is if they make an offer to you, they don't
accept it.
They don't intend for you to accept it.
Okay, great.
Really?
It's being polite. The offer is, hey, I'm aware
Yep.
that you may be hungry.
Yep.
I will feed you if I must, but I'd rather not.
Because your mum last week had made food and it looked delicious and she was so insistent that we eat it.
Yes, exactly.
But I'm wondering, given what you just said,
Yep.
was she would have been happy for us to eat it, right?
course,
Or was
of
there
course.
was there some form of reservation?
I've got this really weird split that's happening in my head because of the way that I was raised. So you need to understand, for me, being a child with Italian parents, whenever...
fed a lot of food.
Feta a lot of food.
Number one.
Oh, no, that's Greek.
Number one, fed a lot of food. Number two, we had this inner monologue happening whenever we were offered food because we were explicitly told, do not accept food when it's offered to you.
Isn't that a strange?
As like a
trait?
politeness thing.
It's a So, if there's a platter on the table in front of you, you can't reach and get the food until the people insist that you reach and get the food.
It's an insist.
It's permission is granted only when it's an insistence. Please eat the food. Eat the food.
When you go to Italy, what are Italians like? I've got in my head that they're rude people.
No, completely different.
Really?
It's the ones that moved to Australia.
No way.
Yeah.
So what is it about the migrant Italians that changes their...
They forged a new country.
There's something that makes me think they were the convicts as well. Like they got rid of the bad ones and we're the remnants of them.
But they wouldn't have had... What did convicts eat on the First Fleet? I feel like this is one of the things that Josh will know. Josh, this is bread and butter.
Rotten bread, stuff like that. Seriously.
What else?
No, the supplies are absolute rubbish. They were forced
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut.
What?
And scurvy.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Italians would have introduced maybe better eating habits on the First Fleet if they were convicts.
Yeah, perhaps.
So, okay, my big issue with this is be honest and upfront with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Don't pretend and dance around like, oh, I have some food, but secretly going, I hope he doesn't fucking take some food.
But what makes you think that you can come to this house? What makes you think you can come to this house and say, hey, is there any food for me? This isn't your mum's house.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
It's Christian's mum's house.
Yeah, Dion.
But you said that you
tell him.
You said that you agree.
So this is me trying to acclimatise with the culture. I'm trying to assimilate. Yeah. Basically, I'm trying to train myself that this is the way that Anglo-Saxon kids are.
great.
They'll walk into your pantry and take whatever they like.
No, don't paint me with that brush. I don't do that.
Well, you pretty much do. What do? You just walk into the oven and you take all the food from the oven.
No, Dion's the one walking around the house. Oh, where's the beer? Where's the chips?
No, but that's supplied.
Okay, so my thing is, right, often coming straight like, hey, I haven't eaten.
Yep.
I'm coming to your place.
Yep.
Is there going to be food, or should I get something on the way? It's always followed, or should I get something on the way?
That's
and I'm
true.
quite happy for the response to be, yes, Josh, you should get something on the way. There's no leftovers for you.
So this is where I'm torn as well, because if you were one of me asking that question, if I answered and said, no, get your own dinner, you would have every right to be offended for months.
No, I'm not. Oh, okay.
Therefore, I have the fear.
So you respond.
There are too many things happening in my brain when I'm asked a question. A simple question.
I just think in the Yiddish word, it is chutzpah to have the nerve,
The gall.
the gall,
Yeah.
to turn up to a house and even ask that question
not
of someone's
gall.
mum. It's not like you going over to Christian's place and going, hey, do you have any leftovers or do you have anything that you cook tonight that I can have? Even then, it'd be like, hang on, who do people cook for? Do they cook for Josh's impending arrival? At their place.
Making it out like I'm demanding that, like, well, I'm going there. There better be fucking food for
but
me.
the implication is you're an Italian family and therefore you have enough food in your fridge for several guests at all times
That
of
is
the day.
absolutely the
Yeah.
case.
And may I ask, what happened when you sat down?
Okay, no, so what the problem is, last week what happened is that I said, hey, I'm really hungry, I haven't eaten. You're like, oh, I think my mum's got some leftover lasagna or something. And then I was like, oh, is there going to be a lot or not much? And you're like, oh, I don't know how much there is.
Chutzpah, a lot or how much?
And so, no, because I was really hungry, I hadn't had lunch. So like, okay, cool, I'll get some Hungry Jacks on the way. So I arrive with my Hungry Jacks, I walk in the door, and your mum's there going, oh, I've got this lasagna, quick, have some lasagna, you got to have some lasagna. I'm there like feeling guilty about buying Hungry Jacks. I sit down like, and she's like, you sure don't want any lasagna? I was like, no, I spent all this money on this processed shit. Now I felt bad about not taking an offer of the food.
Why didn't you take the offer of her food?
Because I just bought a fucking hunger tamer from Hungry Jacks.
But you'd already spent money, so you would have got food either way. You spent your $12 on your hunger tamer.
Are you saying
$12.95.
$12.95 on your
Are
hunger
you saying
tamer.
he should have asked for a doggy bag from my mum?
No, more what I was saying, that would have been funnier,
Yeah.
but more what I was saying was that maybe in that situation, you should have binned the Hungry Jacks and eaten the homemade Italian food.
No, I don't agree with you, Dion.
Really?
No, not at all. I think that if you've invested in Hungry Jacks, you're eating Hungry Jacks.
Also, if you don't take up the Italian woman's cooking, you're an idiot. You're an idiot if you opt for that. If you don't opt for that,
Dion, I made my bed and I lay in it, and I'm happy to accept that.
yeah, and you're happy to make that. You're happy to. How should I phrase this?
God.
And you're happy to make that.
It's like
bed.
that a steak, is it?
Really good.
What I find the most interesting thing about this is where I'm very quick to say no, Josh, there won't be food for you when you get here. I'm sorry, you're going to have to buy your own.
By the way, which I'm completely fine with.
We've established that. Yeah. We've established that.
But you guys sitting down and me bringing out the platter of cheese and crackers isn't considered food for us.
So this is something that happens when we come over here every 2 weeks. There seems to be an unlimited amount of Can you pronounce it for me?
Antipasto.
Antipasto. There seems to be unlimited amount of antipasto, and I feel like somewhere in the house there is a repository of antipasto trays, which has got and it's all these wooden boards with sun-dried tomatoes, cheese, grapes. Does anyone ever eat the grapes? By the way, the strawberries didn't look great. I think your mum needs to. They look terrible.
They've been in the cupboard for years. What also fascinates me is how you both find this so fascinating when I'm equally as fascinated about both of your cultures and the ways that you were raised.
I guess because I haven't been brought up in an Italian environment, whereas you've had this environment and you've had to assimilate.
No.
I haven't had to assimilate into anything.
Yes, you have. You were raised in a Jewish family.
But I didn't need to assimilate into Australia.
No, it's not about assimilation. It's about a different cultural upbringing. That's what Christian's getting at.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I did have a different cultural upbringing. You didn't. You had a very Australian upbringing, didn't you, Josh?
I guess so, by all accounts. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Australian history. Nothing about our Indigenous population. Very Australian.
No, very, very bland salada upbringing for me.
Salada.
It's nothing important, really. Just very...
I think a great way to gauge our upbringings is to ask this very simple question. Josh, what did you have on top of your salada?
That's a great question.
Vegemite.
Dion, really? Dion, atop your salada?
Probably just butter and maybe a cured meat.
Great.
And Christian, what did you have on yours?
Ricotta, tomato, and basil.
All the time?
A sprinkle of olive oil, a crack of pepper, and a bit of salt.
And the best thing, they're all harvested either from the garden or from your mum toiling in the kitchen all day. We're really intent on creating a community of patchworkers, so that's why we bug you every week at the end of the episode to write us in a review on iTunes. And also, if you want to contact us, don't talk to us personally. Message our Welcome to Patchwork Facebook group. So we recently, guys, we got some feedback. So from Alberto, who's a friend of Christian's, or should we say that? He's a fan. Alberto's a fan. He wrote a message.
All the way from Milan.
He wrote a message saying, I just like Dion's accent. So much English lessons. And then he goes on to ask Christian how backgammon's going. And Christian, I didn't know you played backgammon, which is very strange. And then he said, by the way, you guys are fucking genius in a strange way, but genius. And then in brackets, he's put, welcome to Patchwork. I don't understand.
That's just to clear up what we're talking about. In case you forgot the last 2 seconds.
It may have been the backgammon he was referring to, yeah.
Right. Another friend of mine, Anton, he wrote and said that he's overseas and he's been listening to episode after episode and he feels like he has friends overseas because he's travelling alone. So that's really nice to hear.
What a sad young man.
And also we heard from Jess the other day who said that she loved saving up our podcast for the long drive from Melbourne to Canberra. And she particularly enjoyed the episode with the discussion about dating profiles, that one where Josh had that incredible profile on Cosmo, the Tinder profile. But she also said that she enjoyed the part about gift giving. And this is something we've heard regularly from our fans, that people have been engaging so much in the topics that they have disagreed vehemently with us. So guys, have you reflected on some of those conversations we had? And have you been informed by other people's opinions on gift giving? Have your views changed? Or are you still rigid in your ways?
So one of the things with the gift giving that after we finished recording, I realized there's actually way more scenarios that you can give gifts in that aren't just a wedding or a birthday or something. Yep. And it's all circumstantial around that. So for instance, if you're going to someone's 21st or some sort of a boozy event, I guess, there's an aspect of it that if I bring a nice bottle of spirits, maybe we'll get drunk on the night.
On that drink?
That bottle?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
So you think the gift receiver will crack into your bottle on the night? Absolutely not going to happen.
That is not uncommon, mate.
Do you not wrap your gift so that they see it immediately and they think, oh, there's a bottle of vodka, I'm going to consume that tonight?
Yeah.
When they're 21, mate, the whole bottle.
The only time that happens is at a dinner party.
Yeah.
If they're being polite, they'll receive your wine.
Or bring a bottle of wine,
and put it on the table.
What do you take to a dinner party?
A bottle of wine.
So boring. I bring a coffee maker.
What did you say?
I bring a coffee maker. Yeah. And then take it home.
To a dinner party, I'll bring a platter.
What else, mate? A dinner party is not a gift. No, a dinner party is not a gift-giving scenario.
What about if you've got a good friend at a restaurant, there's a function at a restaurant, and you want to give them a gift? Do you take the gift knowing that they have to take it around for the rest of the night? What do you do?
There's hell. There's absolute hell. You either... Okay, this is what most people do. If they're probably expecting gifts, they're gonna have the car there. The car's going to get loaded up. So they know they're going to get a lot of gifts. Hey, guys, dinner's here. Then we're going out for drinks to the club. So give me your gifts now. I'll dump him in the car, and then we're on the road.
Hey, Mum, bring your car around. I'm going to fuck off.
Do you think that's still a thing, or is that something that people did when we were younger?
I've had
it's still a thing.
In the last few years, definitely like people have organised something. They've got a car there. Like maybe their girlfriend's driving it and they're going to leave the car there or something.
My favourite part about filling the car with gifts is also putting the balloon arrangement in the car with the gifts. Yeah. And then leaving them in your house till they deflate. My sister had her 30th here at this house that we're recording in, and we had the 3 and the 0. But for some reason, the 0 was possessed, and we found it just in different rooms around the house over the weeks.
That someone came in and thought, how was the 3rd birthday party?
A circumstance that I realised that is quite difficult to navigate with gifts is when someone has a party, but you normally wouldn't give that person a gift for that birthday. So just for example, if Dion, you say, hey, everyone, come over for my 32nd birthday.
Yep.
Right?
Gave it away.
Normally, I'm not giving you a gift for your 32nd. But the fact that you're hosting an event, does that mean I'm bringing a gift?
I think a big part of the gift is also, as a person going, are you getting anything? So if you're going and you're getting drinks and you're getting dinner, you're much more incumbent to actually bring a gift, Christian.
Yeah, because there's also that mentality that if you're going to a wedding, your gift has to equate to, if not surpass, the value of the per head.
Yeah, that's so true.
That's why when I go to weddings, I go, just the toast, please.
Dietary requirement.
But yeah, that's a huge thing that you feel guiltier, I guess. You feel guilty if you go into something where they've clearly put money in for you.
Yep.
So you're like, I got to put money back into this. But like, you're in for the 32nd. I'm like, if I'm going along just to have drinks at Dion's house, bring in some booze or whatever, I don't owe him anything.
It's the giving of the gift is such an afterthought for me, though. I love receiving it, but it's such an afterthought. Like, I'll have a wedding on in 3 weeks' time, and it'll only be a couple of days before where I'll think, what do I actually want to get this person?
Sorry.
What do I need to get them?
This goes against everything you've been saying.
Yeah, I know it does. Yeah, it's very paradoxical.
Is that real?
Yep.
So you love giving great gifts, but you leave it to the last minute every time.
No, well, I guess it's for people that I know well. I like giving gifts to. It's people who I don't know well that I really struggle with. So I love giving gifts to people who I can give a meaningful gift to, and then I'm one of the best in the world.
So fringe friends.
Fringe benefit friends, yeah.
But I think I'm astounded that I'm defending Dion.
I mean, just on this topic or just in general?
In general.
Okay.
But one of the things that I think you're quite good at is if you had to think of a gift for a close friend, you'd probably be able to think of that gift very quickly.
Yep.
Something quite meaningful to them. You'd be able to look at me and go, yep, a bowl of tomatoes.
Yep, and that was what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You know what I've started to do in the last, I don't know, half decade?
Stock up on tomatoes.
No, I have started taking notes when I think of gifts for people.
Yes.
So like family members and good friends and
Do you know what? I've got this obsession with owning ideas. So it just occurred to me. It just occurred to me then.
So you're about to say, well, Josh, I actually did that first.
No, not that I did it first, but I'm pretty sure I gave you that idea. And I hate that reaction, but I'm pretty sure I gave you that idea because hang on. 5 years ago, were you good at giving gifts? What did you do with gifts? You were shit out at it.
Sorry, I don't put it down to you made me a good gift giver. Amazing. What are you fucking like Hitch, like Will Smith, Phil? You make me good at giving gifts.
Lost on me.
No, like, it's just something that I realized. It was like often when I get to Christmas time, I'm like, oh, fuck, I remember back in like September, I thought of something really good for Eden and now I've forgotten it. So I started to write that stuff down.
Yep.
Not because of you fuckhead. I love as well. Like that happens so much. Like that's actually no, Dion. I've got a bone to pick with you. Okay. Now what? I got a bone. So often when I say I've done something or something's happened, you go, "Hang on, didn't I? Didn't I give you that idea or didn't I teach that. It's happened a few times.
Yes.
And this is another fucking example of it.
Yep.
I'm sick of it.
And conversely, I guess I've got a bone to pick with you because
Oh,
you keep
really?
I got a bone to pick. Because you keep stealing my ideas and claiming them for yourself. No, not really.
I'm sorry to interrupt you two beautiful gentlemen while you're disagreeing, as much as I love to watch it happen in front of me. But this is, I think, the beautiful thing about getting feedback from our listeners, because it actually instigates more arguments between us.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's this beautiful thing that everyone has a different opinion about these ideas. Like the idea of just giving a gift, while so simple, is so divisive.
It'd actually be, on that topic, it'd actually be fun to see if we are getting more angry at each other. So if you don't want Welcome to Patchwork to continue, keep on sending your feedback. It'll encourage more debate, it'll encourage more anger, and then we'll split up.
Yeah, this is what will happen. Our debates will get more intense, the episodes will get better, and then it'll just stop.
And the other thing we'll do is, along with feedback, I think we might start a gift registry. So if anyone wants to send gifts into the show, we'll know exactly what to get. So new mics would be top of that list. Would be great.
The first episode for us was a little bit of a mess in that we were testing the waters out a little bit. We came up with a few segments. We wanted to see what worked. One of the segments, which was going to be a weekly segment, was one which you may remember if you go back and listen to Patch 1, the Roast of the Week. Now, our intention was to keep this as a weekly segment, but...
Something quirky, fun, short.
Yeah, something quirky, fun, short. Yeah, sure. We only remembered it about Patch 7 that we'd been forgetting to do it every week.
So should we do it again?
Let's do it for one final time.
Okay, let's do it. And now it's time for Roast of the Week. We'll be doing a roast most weeks. And now it's time for Roast Pork.
That looks great.
That looks delicious. Is that that's some crackling just on the outside?
Oh, yum. Actually, have you put your fork in there?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. You'll hurt yourself.
Yeah, that's very moist, isn't it? It's good.
Yeah.
It's good temperature to have pork at.
Yeah, it's really good. What a great roast.
Now, you might remember I told a story a while ago about a party that I went to hosted by a young lady called Verity Pickles. That I brought...
Real name?
Already. Yes. Yeah. And I brought Christian along, and he ended up breaking a window at the party. Yep. Now, I hosted a house party recently. I was a bit nervous to invite Christian because we have a lot of windows in the house.
I was nervous to attend, Josh.
So the party was going on fine. And then what happened was Verity was there, Verity Pickles. Yes. And I'm getting a sense that Christian...
I'm getting sweaty palms now!
He has a form of PTSD. And this is what happened. I was there. So Verity was sitting down. Christian walked across. He saw Verity and turned and went, Pickles! I was shocked to see this woman that he has these harrowing memories. And what's worse is she doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, she's completely... It is water under the bridge for her. She's completely fine with it. And you're still, like you said, you're still nervous about it. You have PTSD about breaking this woman's window.
It was difficult to breathe. And then she encouraged me to make physical contact with her, which was... I feel like that kind of built a
Do you mean she gave you a hug?
She did, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I'm nervous thinking about it.
I lost my words.
Yeah. That party was traumatic for me for a number of reasons. Traumatic.
You're welcome to have you at my house. No worries, mate.
Actually, it was a great party. But it was traumatic for a number of reasons. Number one, pickles.
Pickles.
Number two, it was the first time really that I'd mingled with your friends, Josh.
Yeah.
Since kind of the patchwork has come... The patchwork. Since Welcome to Patchwork has been out.
Yeah.
And I was really intrigued to find that the people's perception of me was not what I imagined it to be.
Because I heard this a lot throughout the night. It was really, really interesting that I had a lot of my friends come up to me and go, oh, hey, I met Christian and I met Dion for the first time tonight. They're very different.
Yeah, really? And this is where my bone to pick comes from. I have a bone to pick with both of you. Everyone expected to see a fat Italian Muslim.
And what'd they get?
That was a throwaway line in the first episode.
And I said, I am neither a Muslim... It's so true. Everyone said they see you and go, oh, I thought he was going to be really fat.
I think they're disappointed that you're
They
not.
are.
Yeah.
So did people have positive stuff to say about you, Christian?
No, it was mostly the you're not as fat as I expected.
Oh, okay. And what do you think of the podcast? Yeah, you're not as fat, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you sound a lot fatter on the podcast.
A lot of the thing I've heard as well is that you, Christian, and myself, we sound very similar.
Yes.
And I find that really interesting and bizarre.
Yeah, especially because Dion and I know that you've got quite a
Here we go.
unique voice.
Go on, say it nasally.
Nasally. Well, you described as nasally.
Sounds like I'm blocked up.
But it's also like...
Every time I listened to a phone message when I was a child that was left on the answering machine of myself going, "Hey, Mum, can you pick me up from the station?" I was like, I sound very blocked up.
Do a lot of people ask whether you're ill?
No, unless till they see the bags under my eyes.
But going back...
Until they look at you. Yeah.
Actually, on the topic of sounding the same, a lot of people say that like I look like I've been adopted in my family.
You look like you have.
Because I don't look like really any of my family members.
Well, I have that a bit with one of my brothers, Eden, that because we do these comedy shows together, and part of the act and part of the show is that we're brothers in the show, and we legitimately had people come up to us after and be like, "Oh, you two actually brothers?" Like, because we look very different. And it was weird to me to be like, "Yeah, we didn't just make up some great thing like, hey, we're brothers." But it's because like we don't look similar, but I think our attitudes and the way we talk, like it's not so much the sound of the voice, but it's the way you talk. I think that's really so. Like you with all your brothers, Dion, I find that sort of defines your family. Not defines your family, but you can tell your brothers because of the way you talk and that kind of stuff.
I think with both of you and your siblings, it's all in the gestures.
Really?
And I've been told a very similar thing with my sister.
Yeah.
That it's all in the gestures, our mannerisms, the way we move, the way we kiss.
Yeah. The way you break glass.
Yeah.
The way you kiss.
Yeah. There's only one person in the world who can give that feedback. So my bone to pick
I got a bone to pick
with the first 13 episodes has been the public's perception of me. Do either of you have any issues with the way that you've been perceived from these episodes?
I don't have an issue with the way I've been perceived, but I do have an issue with the way I think Dion in particular has been trying to besmirch my character by insinuating that I don't know how to pronounce his name properly when I do, and I've said it hundreds of, if not thousands of times, and I say it perfectly, and I've been backed up. I actually have had multiple people message me, and I had one from Rachel Davis who said, "Dion is bloody mental you saying his name wrong." Yep. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much.
But I've had people say to me, "Look, it's just different pronunciations. It's different intonations of speech. I don't have those intonations when I say Josh or Christian,
has anyone other than your parents supported your side of
Christian,
this
that's
argument?
not something I'm comfortable talking about. Not at all. I'm not going to say that on air. I'm going to tell you about the thousands of people that have contacted me. So, Dion, we support you.
Actually, that I would love to hear. If anyone thinks that Dion was correct and thinks that I mispronounced his name.
You mean Dion?
Sorry, Dion.
Yeah.
I would love someone who has listened to a few of these patches.
So
to
would I, mate.
please write in.
Can you hear that? Crickets, mate. Crickets.
No, not yet. We'll see what happens. Please hit us up. If you believe that my name has been pronounced incorrectly by Josh, I want to hear about it desperately.
Now, on the show, we like to do some sketches from time to time. Sometimes they're really good, really funny. Like, I know the party drugs one that I came up with the people snorting the drugs through the curly straws. Christian, you had the courtyard sketch, I believe that was yours. Sometimes they're not that great, and sometimes they don't quite make the cut. And Dion's had a few, but often he's they don't always hit the mark, so...
And that's why you won't hear them.
a lot have been cut of Dion's sketches. So we've got some little sort of behind the scenes for you here. We're going to play one of Dion's cut sketches. And another thing to note and keep in mind,
I know it's coming,
is that we had a lot of, particularly earlier in the season, Dion with his levels. He was very, very hard on the mics, very loud. But yeah, so here's Dion with one of his great sketches that didn't make the cut.
I guess I'm just a natural talent.
People using tech wrong?
Yep. Beautiful.
And then this will be it. Or do you want to not do this and save it? Because we're at 58.
Do you want me to do my... Can I do my sketch? Because this is a long episode. I think I just do my sketch now.
I reckon maybe we put a line under it.
As in, stop now.
It's a really quick sketch, like 2 minutes. Okay. Hopefully it'll be funny. Alright, I'm just going to do this. I don't know if it'll work. Christian really liked it earlier. Feel free to laugh.
Is anyone else in this?
No.
Okay.
Hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you? How's Josh going in the new school? He's loving it. Everyone is so nice. Oh, that's good. I love your dress. Where did you get it? Oh my God, it's from Target. Have you heard of Target? Yeah, but it's so pricey. Oh my God, is that a Porsche? Yes, it is. What car do you have? I have a 1989 Datsun. Really? I love that car. So good. Do you like Bosch appliances? Oh my God, yes. Fade down on the Bosch appliances bit.
Fucking levels, mate. You're going to ruin your own sketch.
Good. I want to.
So that was the ill-fated Scotch Mums sketch.
So I don't know now whether to defend myself or just let my work speak for itself. I'm not sure if that's wise, the former. I will try and defend myself. I thought that was a good idea. And Christian,
Here we go. How did I know this?
I ran it past you and I said, hey, I've got this idea of these two private school mums talking to each other and talking about inane shit because I used to live behind a private school.
Yep.
And you said, yeah, you should do it. It sounds funny. And I said, okay, who should I do it with? You or Josh?
Yep.
And you said, no, you should do it on your own as a solo thing.
Yep.
And I know that you knew there was a retrospective coming up and you knew that would be highlighted on it.
Excuse me, but that pitch that you sold to me was great. The idea of you doing those characters yourself is great.
Yeah.
The fact that you prepared 6 minutes before is not great. When you're doing a sketch about private school mums, number one, don't mention Target. Number two, don't mention Bosch appliances.
Why
Number
did I
three,
mention Target?
don't mention Datsuns.
Wait, no, but the idea was that one mum was trying to fit in, and so she was...
This is the explanation, the notes that were required for this sketch.
Yeah, this is always great for jokes.
So the pitch wasn't great, but the idea was there was a try-hard mum who didn't have money, who was going to Target and had the Datsun, and the other mum was a mum who had a BMW, who had a really good car, and so, but they got on, and that was and there was a moral to the story.
I think what you're missing is preparation, mate. Because you could have made those characters a bit more distinct.
I know, Christian has said that. I also don't have any acting qualities like you do. I haven't gone
Acting qualities. The fact you call it acting qualities.
haven't gone to acting school, haven't done any performance. Can the listeners tell? Probably. And now it's time for Oh Wow of the Week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Vanilla beans are the second most expensive spice in the world due to a current global vanilla bean crisis.
Oh, wow.
Oh, oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Craig's impressed.
He's so shocked.
Oh, my God.
Play it again. Listen.
Oh, wow.
His emphasis is beautiful. This is the way that I imagine someone to say, "Oh wow!" If you gave a professional those two words and said,
We did.
Read
and he
this.
did it. Yeah.
"Oh wow! Oh wow! Oh," it's got that real guttural kind of.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God!
Now, over the season, we've had a few different segments come and go. Some old favourite, we had like Mad Lifts, we had Casual Quest. You just heard Oh Wow of the Week. Uber Greets was another good one. But we did have, and obviously really good, of course. But we did have one that was kind of loved and loathed. And we weren't quite sure. It was actually your idea, wasn't it? It was Monotoly, wasn't it, Christian?
Monotoly was my idea.
But what was the idea behind it?
And I have trepidation in owning this, but I want to assure the listeners that it wasn't my idea how it turned out. The original inception was for us to it was supposed to be just a segue, just a way for us to transition between talking points. So it was just going to be originally a monotonous a conversation as we could have.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
And the first one was set in a bank.
Yeah.
And we somehow achieved a monotonous conversation, but then we found that we wanted to achieve the same laughs that we achieved in the bank, so we came up with like a sort of formula.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to us.
Because, we didn't really know what made it funny and what made people like it, but we definitely always had a particular way that we did it.
And now it's time for Monotoly.
So, Christian, I'll just get you to start that bed of sound that we lay underneath the track.
Sure. Hi. Can I whisper some help to you?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit unsure about what I want, so I've come into this shop in order to obtain some advice from you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a generic shop attendant, and I'm just going to ask you a very superfluous question to begin with.
I also am getting a little bit frustrated with your general demeanour, and I don't quite understand where this conversation is heading. But I've also got quite a strange request to ask you as well, and so I'm going to posit that to you.
Okay, and I'm going to try to keep a straight face and not laugh, but for the point of this segment, it actually might help that I laugh a little bit. So I'm going to break character for a second.
Yeah, I guess it's at this point that I get quite frustrated because I'm not getting the assistance I need, and so some sort of intervention is necessary.
Hey, excuse me. Hi, I'm just going to pop in now and interrupt. You're going to try and defend yourself over there? That my interruption? Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I'm going to defend myself.
And then I'm going to come back at you and say, excuse me, I'm talking to the attendant. And then to the attendant, I'm going to address the question. It's exactly the same thing that he just said. But this time, it's going to be different. You're probably going to agree with me.
And I'm going to agree with you there.
But hang on, don't I get to pipe up at some point, and then don't I get shot down by you?
No, you don't. We get shut you down. We absolutely shut you down. And then I might try and say something else, and maybe we try and get to a big laugh at the end. So maybe something ridiculous. I just kind of say something ridiculous.
Dion, if you could keep talking, and we'll trail out and fade the music out with you.
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to keep on talking and walking away, I guess.
So all three of us really enjoy doing the show, and we've got some really loyal listeners, which I love. But we've also had a bit of interest from some more industry-type people, in particular, a specific commercial radio station has clearly been listening to the show and taken a very special interest, a very particular interest into one of our segments. So we've got a clip for you now, and I think you might be able to work out just which segment they love so much.
Sah Great. Sah Great.
Hey, Sophie, do you know what's Sah Great?
Tell me.
When you risk that big first bite into a meat pie, right? Like a big one. You're not nibbling on the edge of the pastry or
It's
anything
not a
like
party
that.
pie.
Nah.
It's a big one.
And the temperature is already perfect.
Sah Great. Sah Great. Good one to start. It's an easy one to start with, like easing into it.
Like not as good as some others.
Do you know what's Sah Great?
Yeah.
When you expect somewhere to have dodgy toilet paper, but then you go into the toilet and it's the best. Like it's the thick, plush.
Sah Great.
They've got heaps of ply.
Oh,
and
it's like 3-ply Quilton.
And it's the best stuff. And you just think, this is what heaven would be. For sure. Like God has 3-ply.
Yeah, he does.
You
In
know
his
what I mean?
public toilet that he's going to.
Good TP. You can't mess with that.
Sah
Sah
Great.
Great.
It's hard to listen to, isn't it?
So that's Sah Great.
That's Sah Great.
Let's just emphasize the point that that's real.
Yeah.
That was played on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. on a commercial radio station in somewhere Australia.
Yeah, a major city in Australia. So I guess given that they've ripped off this idea, we think...
What are you talking about, Dion?
we think that it might have ruined Really Good Forever.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. In fact, it's really bad.
Really, really bad. You know what's really, really bad? Really, really bad. You know what's really, really bad?
Do you know what's really bad? When light turbulence ends up in a plane crash.
Really bad.
Really bad. Really bad.
You know what's really bad? Hoping to change the face of the world when you first learn how to split the atom, only to eventually change the face of many Japanese people.
Really bad. Really bad. Really bad. You know what's really bad? Getting emotionally manipulated by your girlfriend. Really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad. Really bad.
Really bad. Do you know what's really bad? When a major weather event hits your town, destroys your house, and you don't have house insurance.
Really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad. Really bad.
You know what's really bad? Hitting an animal with your car and then realizing it was your family pet.
Really bad. Really bad.
bad.
Really bad.
Really bad. It's so bad.
You know what's really bad? When a couple with mutual friends breaks up and the friends have to take sides. Really bad.
Really bad. Really bad. Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork. This has been part 1 of our retrospective. You'll hear part 2 in our next release. In the meantime, if you have feedback or you'd like us to discuss anything, please contact us on Facebook, send us a message. We love to hear from you, and please write us a review on iTunes. Continue to tell your friends because we love you and your friends. So,
Thank you for listening for Welcome to Patchwork. I've been Craig Willis.
I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, wow.